Hi, beautiful friends. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are new to my YouTube channel, then welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. And if you are a returning viewer, then welcome back. I'm really glad you decided to stop back by and watch another video. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jessica Espinoza, and I'm a health coach and a real food educator, and I'm the founder of DeliciousObsessions.com and DeeplyNourishedyou.com. So you can find me writing about all things health and life and wellness and spirituality and all of that stuff on those sites. So you definitely check those out. And today I want to talk about my first trimester. So as you saw from the title of this video, I'm pregnant. Yay! Which it feels really surreal to even say that and to be recording a video about this, because if I'm being 100% honest, I never really thought that I would get pregnant. I really didn't have anything to base that on. I don't know. I just have, I've had a lot of health issues over the years, and I've also had a lot of fear around my health and a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. And so I just really, I don't know. I just felt like it would never happen. So boom, here we are. Apparently the Lord had different plans for us, and becoming parents was part of his plan, part of his journey for me and my husband. So here we are. And as I'm recording this, I'm actually a little bit into my second trimester already, but I wanted to do kind of a recap of my first trimester while it was still fresh on my mind. I also have a blog post that I wrote where I talk a lot more in detail about my first trimester. I really tried to be brutally honest in this post, because I feel like so often we either see like the extremes of pregnancy and what it's like, either like all of the horrible horror stories, or we hear like nothing but rainbows and unicorns and fairy dust all the time, that it's just like magical and wonderful and all this stuff. And I believe that both of those exist. Like there are times where it's really, really rough, and there are times where it's really, really awesome and magical and just amazing. And if I'm being completely honest, my first trimester was very difficult, physically and emotionally. So I really wanted to share about some of the struggles that I had in there. So if you want to read that, there's a link down in the video description below or in one of the cards up here. And I'm talking about like specifically what supplements I was taking, how my sleep was, what my mental and emotional health was, products that I found really helpful during my first trimester. And so I'm going to do one of these for my second, third, and then fourth for postpartum as well. So I'm going to cover a lot of those same topics and just show like how my journey progresses, because I really enjoyed reading those from other pregnant mamas, and it just feels like such an honor to be part of this tribe now where I can share this with you guys. So yes, so here we are. So here's the actual pregnancy test. I guess I'll start at the beginning. So in August, towards the end of August, my husband and I discovered that we were cooking up something special. And we had no idea. Like this was completely unexpected. We had been talking about starting a family. But we really thought we had like another like 6 months to a year to kind of like to try and to also like kind of wrap our heads around it and get ourselves like situated for it and stuff like that. And then like, boom, hello, I'm late, and I waited a full week to take the test, because my periods are usually very regular. So if I'm late, like something is wrong. That rarely happens. But I had been under a whole lot of stress, and in March, I was also a week late, and that was the first period that I had right after my father died. And of course, I was in the midst of deep stress and deep grief after that. And so because I had been under a lot of stress throughout the summer as well, I just kind of assumed that was happening again. So I waited a full week, and then nothing happened. And I said, okay, like, we're just going to take a test. I honestly got these tests, which are ridiculously expensive, by the way. I got a test, and I fully didn't expect it to be positive. And it was funny because like on the test, it says that, results will appear in like 3 to 5 minutes. And in this case, like it's a second line that shows up on the little indicator thing. That line showed up immediately. Like the second that I put the cap on it and set it down, the line was already there. It was like, oh, wow. Like things just got real. So yeah, I found out, I had a little like freak out moment. I was like super excited and also like super freaked out and like sad and overwhelmed all at once. And so I kind of worked through those emotions for a few minutes, and then I went and told hubby about it. So boom, here we are. So first trimester, things went pretty well up until like week 6. And that is when my food aversions and the nausea and all of that stuff started happening. So that was right around week 6. And it happens like overnight too. I went from like being able to eat normally and feeling pretty normal, except I was a lot more tired than normal. And the fatigue aspect of pregnancy has been like a totally different ball game. Like you're talking to somebody who has dealt with chronic fatigue for, many years, and I don't have chronic fatigue anymore, but I've really struggled with it in the past. And this is like on a different level even from that. So I was kind of shocked at how exhausted I was all the time. But up until like week 6, I was pretty much able to eat regularly and like do all of my regular stuff. I did have to rest a lot more than usual, but life was relatively normal. And then week 6 happened, and it was like almost overnight. All of a sudden, I started having all of these food aversions. Like all of the normal things that I would eat just became absolutely disgusting to me, especially meat. Meat of any kind. Like it started with ground beef, and then it was chicken, and then it was fish, and then it was steak, and then it was everything. Like all meat was just kind of like off the table for me. So really from week 6 to week 12, I was largely vegetarian. I was able to eat a lot of eggs, which is good. I'm really thankful for that. I was not averse. I didn't have aversions to eggs, which is great. I was able to throw in like the occasional piece of like turkey sausage or turkey bacon, which was nice to give me a little bit of extra protein. I could stomach I try not to eat out a whole lot just because I have food sensitivities and, there's food quality issues and stuff like that. But I kind of went through these weird phases. Like I had 1 week where I really wanted Indian food. That's like all I wanted, which was so strange to me because there's so many like spices and it's such a powerful type of food that is not at all what I would think I would want in the midst of all of these food aversions and nausea and ickiness. But I went with it. And so I ate a lot of Indian food that week. And then I have not been able to even think about Indian food ever since then. Blech. And then I had another week where I literally, cooking has been difficult all the way through. The smell of food cooking has been pretty gross. So I've been eating a lot of like salads and vegetables, and things that don't require a lot of heavy cooking. So I went through a week where all I wanted was like takeout. So I would eat like really 1 meal a day with takeout. And then I would just kind of snack throughout the rest of the day. I was doing pretty well with veggies, nuts and seeds, like nut butters, yogurt, stuff like that. So I would just kind of like fill in calories that way. And then after that week passed, I did not want to eat out like ever again. And so it's been so weird. Like the food aversion thing really threw me for a loop. That was just unlike anything I've ever experienced. And it's even kind of lasting now into the 2nd trimester. I'm still having some difficulty eating, but I am slowly starting to get a little bit more of an appetite back, especially around meat, which I like because I do well with more protein in my diet. And so it was, those 6 weeks where I was largely vegetarian was really difficult for me. I don't do well on a vegetarian style of eating. So that was interesting, quite a journey. Then really like the only major symptoms that I've had other than that is fatigue, of course, Oops, something's going on with my camera. So fatigue, unlike anything else, like I said, and I talk more about that in the blog post. And then congestion. Congestion has been unbelievable. And I guess my husband found the actual term for the type of congestion that women get when they're pregnant, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's a legit thing because all of the hormones make your sinus, all of your sinus tissue swell up. And so then your sinuses are miserable and they produce more mucus and it's just gross. So congestion has been really terrible. And then also my gag reflex has been really, really sensitive. So sensitive to the point where even brushing my teeth makes me throw up. So I have to be very careful when I'm brushing my teeth. Even now into the second trimester, it's still there, and I have to just be careful. Like brushing my teeth has turned into a big event that takes me a long time, and I have to think about other things while I'm brushing my teeth to try to distract myself from that gag reflex, instigating. So that's been pretty miserable. And I really need to go get my teeth cleaned. Actually, that's one thing that my doctors have recommended is that I go and get my teeth cleaned, and I'm due for my 6-month cleaning anyways. But I have been putting that off because of the gag reflex and how congested I am too, because I just don't know how well I'm going to do sitting in the chair, having them having their hands in my mouth. I don't know. So I'm working up towards that. We'll see if I get around to doing that in the very near future. So I would say those are the main symptoms, the worst symptoms that I've had. There's been other symptoms, of course, but those have kind of been the primary ones that have been the most difficult. And then it was actually, I went through a lot of stress initially with my first doctor. So we have since changed practices from the first practice that we had planned on going with. Because I'm trying to make sure that this is not too glary on my glasses, because I only have one place in my house that I can record these videos where there's decent light. So sorry about that. I keep adjusting my head. So first practice, long story short, I don't have traditional health insurance. I'm part of a Christian medical share group. And so there's some different requirements for the types of paperwork that I need in order to get reimbursement, and some different kind of rules that I have to follow. And the first practice that I was with just turned into a major nightmare when I was dealing with them. I won't get into all of the specifics, but the stress got so bad that I ended up having 3 anxiety attacks in 2 days back towards the beginning of October. If you're on my weekly newsletter, then I talked about that after that happened, and it was pretty tough. It made the entire month of October really rough because it activated the fight or flight system, my nervous system. It just kind of threw everything all haywire for me. And that was difficult to deal with, to be completely honest. So the month of October kind of sucked because of that. But I'm feeling so much better now. I'm in a much better place mentally and emotionally. I just for sake of time, because this video is already getting so long, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. Maybe I'll do a separate video about this. But I'm doing a lot better now, and my nervous system has kind of re-regulated. I'm getting back to my normal place. I've made stress management and relaxation and rest a priority. I'm stress managing like it's my full-time job, literally. And part of me is a little sad that I let my anxiety get the best of me. But it happened, and actually out of it, I learned a lot. It really taught me some valuable lessons that I will talk about in a separate video just to save time on this one. But so there was good that came out of that. It just made for a really rough month, and it also made me a little worried about my baby, but it is what it is. And pregnancy is already stressful, and we are, as a pregnant woman, you're in a very vulnerable state, and it's just tough. So I'll talk about that in a different video. I'll do a separate video about that. But let's see what else. So for sake of time on this video, I will go ahead and kind of wrap this up. But go over to my blog post if you want to know more about what happened with me during the first trimester and like the things I went through, the experiences that I had, symptoms that I had, things like that, the products that I was using, then definitely read the blog post. And let me know if you have any specific questions. I'm happy to talk about this. This is a brand new journey for me. This is opening up kind of a whole new world for me. And so it's exciting to be part of like a mama tribe now. And it's also very like humbling, and it's an honor really to be able to talk about this, because you're talking to somebody who really kind of never, I think deep down, I never really expected to get pregnant or to have a baby. So this is, it's definitely been a huge shift for me mentally and emotionally. So I would love to talk more about it. And if you have questions, let me know. If you have things that you would like me to cover, I actually have a whole huge list of blog posts and videos that I want to do, just because I'm learning so much through this process and I want to share it with you guys. But if you have specific things that you're curious about or ideas for videos or blog posts, let me know so that I can add those to my list. So yeah, and then before I go, I guess I'll show you the little guy. So this was actually the first trimester scan. We had totally not planned on doing any ultrasounds other than the 20-week, the halfway point anatomy ultrasound. We're going to do that one for sure, but because the first trimester was so difficult on me mentally and emotionally, and also on my husband, he has his own story that he could tell about that. He really had a difficult time as well with everything. And so that's his story to tell. I'm not going to say anything more about that, but we both had a rough time. And so because of that, we really kind of felt like we needed to see the baby. We needed to hear the heartbeat. We needed to know that everything was okay, because we had been through so much. So yeah, that's him. And we know that it's a boy just based on our early testing that we did, some non-invasive genetic testing. So it's a little boy. And it just like, I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience right now as I share this on camera. So anyways, okay, so that's it. I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for watching this almost 20-minute long video. I will try to make my videos more concise, but you guys know me. I am wordy and I like to talk, and I just have a hard time making really short videos. So if you've stuck with me, thank you so much. Let me know if you have questions. Yeah, let me know if you have comments or ideas or anything. And then if you're also not on either one of my newsletters, you can do that. There'll be a link down in the video description below for my Delicious Obsessions newsletter, where you can get my free ebook for my Deliciously Decadent Desserts ebook, which is full of unpublished brand new recipes that are absolutely amazing. And then if you want to be on my Deeply Nourished You list, my newsletter, they're separate newsletters. I have my free ebook e-course about making peace with food and body. So both of those will be down in the video description below. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye, everybody.